Hi everybody, Dakazu here again. I'm joined by Darfox8
Yo.
and our buddy Rush,
Hello.
and we're here to watch the penultimate episode of Million Tag, episode 7. We are entering the final competition, and so as always, I will give a countdown. Make sure you have the episode proper set up and ready to go, and after I do my countdown and say go, you can hit play, and then I will be live translating and we'll be doing our watch along. So let's get ready and here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh man, we're looking at all the tags. And they're talking about making storyboards for a full serialization. Oh no, someone's having a problem 2 weeks prior to the deadline.
Shonen.
Nice.
Yeah, here we go.
Shonen.
Oh man, it's the final challenge. Look at the comedians, they're all dressing in
Nice
suits.
and dressed up. Heck yeah.
I honestly think they look better dressing casual, to be honest.
They're not fitted. Especially not the guy
Some
in the
of the
middle.
suits don't fit so well.
Oh boy.
Oh, but this comedian is saying like how the writer-artist pair haven't, placed yet. But they're getting better with every challenge, so hopefully they'll make an impact in this final challenge. Oh, Ayane Sakura is pushing for Natsui, the youngest artist, because he said he was a fan of Miss Sakura. So she wants to be like the #1 fan of his. And when they make the anime adaptation, she can do it. Oh, and she's like, I'll totally do the audition. She's like, my Million Tag will start then. So these are the rankings for all the different challenges. The first, the second, and now the third. The final challenge will be announced right now. They're reminding everyone that the person who places first in this final challenge will be the grand winner. Okay, they have to make storyboards for chapter 1 and 2 of a serialization and character illustrations. They have 5 weeks to do this. So with a serialization storyboard, you want to focus on characters, the world building, and then kind of pull that together to make the story interesting, so you want to keep reading what happens next. Commenting about how it seems a little different from the other challenges for storyboards. Natsui's like, I'll do my best. Oh, she's saying like, I don't think any of us have drawn like a second chapter, so I'm wondering what my second chapter will be. Fetish Cat is saying that she's gonna use the same characters from her third challenge. Try to do like the best. Hayashi, the female artist, is saying like she's not sure what she's gonna draw. The writer artist team are saying they're gonna try their best. the writer guy was like, well, I will, and kind of bit his words right there, and everybody left. All right, looks like we're starting with the winner of the last challenge, Shueisha, the award-winning manga artist, and her veteran editor. Yeah, it was a good moment when she won. Oh, interesting. He's like, do you want to do the salesman? And she's like, yeah, I do. But the fighting salesman was the manga that she drew when she did the audition for this million tag. So it looks like they want to go back to that original idea. All right, they're saying like you need to have a character that like is beloved for like a serialization story. The focus is a little different than with like one shot. So this is her reward that she's getting for. Oh, okay. The reward she got for getting first place in the third challenge is the manga artist behind Kaiju number 8. Naoya Matsumoto, the manga artist, read her manga and like gave some commentary. Okay, he says that it was a good story for a one shot, but if you want something serialized as a commercial product, we need to get the character more kind of get the character going a little bit more, so like that will lead to more interesting stories and the characters will lead those stories. And please try your best and find what works for you. That's awesome. She got direct feedback from a manga artist. And also, she got an item to help her, which is a model
What the heck?
gun of a rifle.
I was gonna say it's an airsoft gun, and it was.
Yeah, it is an airsoft gun.
I was gonna say a random joke because it was so big.
I mean, they are made, 1-to-1 scale, and so in Japan, where, you cannot buy guns are not allowed, like, model guns like that are pretty useful resources.
Looks like they still have the orange tip, anyways.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so the veteran's concerned, they're looking at her audition work, the fighting salesman. Okay, and she's saying this too, but because she already completed it as a complete product, she went over that audition piece over and over to get like the best product. They're not sure how to break it down to make it into like a new form, because they feel like they already did. She, perfected it. She perfected that manga with the audition, and like, how is she gonna break that down for this fourth challenge and try and make it even better? Okay, the veteran editor has more advice to give. Oh shit, he just asked, like, do you think you can win with this? And look at her silence. Oh no. She's like, I don't know, I have no idea. She's just thinking about like how she has no time and with the deadline. Okay, so the editor is saying like there's a lot of interesting scenes, but there's just a lot of interesting scenes in order, and there's no place where the reader can really kind of connect with the story. And that's like the problem that he's finding. These hosts are commenting about how important it is to be able to like, emotionally attach with characters and that connect with the story. Yeah, she's saying like, I just don't want to turn in something uninteresting. I want it to be an interesting manga. But she's having a hard time with those characters. Oh, the veteran editor is saying, let's do the 3-act structure. And this is what she did with the third challenge that helped her like figure out the story better. So they're gonna apply it to this final challenge as well. They're saying like, will Shueisha be able to come up with a beloved character and win the challenge? But now we're looking at Fetish Cat, the only manga artist who has placed in every single challenge. Okay, the editor has something important that he wants to point out. Okay, he's saying like, if someone can look at this manga and simply explain this is what this manga is about, that will be really strong. That will lead to a win. It's talking about the importance of now like adapting the story that they used in the third challenge so anyone can understand it. Okay, Fetish Cat says they have a good idea of how the story wants to go, so they want to hurry up and complete it, give it to the editor, and then quickly get feedback so they can fix it and make it better. It's gonna be the alien on the girl on the left who actually like deals in weapons, and the human partner on the right, and how they like get into battles. Oh, the editor was like, out of the storyboards I was expecting, it was 100 times better and more interesting than what I thought it would be. That's high praise. She's really excited and happy.
That's really good, yeah.
So he says like all these characters and where everything is going is very good. Yeah, she's really relieved that the editor said it was good. However, 2 weeks later, the editor says, oh, he read the newest pass of the storyboard and said, "Are you feeling uneasy or nervous?" And she's like, "Yes, I'm very nervous." And he says, "I feel that through the storyboard." Fetish Cat added this thing where the main guy's personality ends up getting like taken over at one spot. And Fetish Cat put it in because she was like, "I feel like this isn't interesting. I need a better hook." But the editor is saying, we don't need that. Approach this storyboarding as subtraction. Try to, instead of adding things, take away as much as you can to try and make it as simple as possible. And Fetish Cat is like, I made a mistake right here. She's saying that because she's already done this material for the third challenge, she probably feels like it's not interesting anymore because she's been doing it for a long while. Alright, now we're focusing on the youngest manga artist, Natsui, and the youngest editor, Okamoto. 4 weeks before deadline. The editor is checking out the prototype that Natsui came up with. It's a story about two girls living in Karuizawa who end up killing a world-famous gang boss, and then it leads into, like, crazy thrillers. Wow, the hosts are all like, that sounds awesome and really interesting. They're really into it. The editor's thing is, like, not just making a thriller, but, like, why does it start at Karuizawa and they kill, like, a world-famous gang boss, and it's like, what is this? But it seemed really interesting. So they want to advance it kind of like, almost like a mystery with, like, tricks and suspense. Oh no, 2 weeks before deadline, we got a huge problem. Oh no! Natsui can't come up with any, like, interesting mysteries or gimmicks or tricks. And it's only 2 weeks to the deadline. And he's saying, like, I don't have any time and I can't come up with anything. This is bad. Yeah, he's explaining how he got completely stuck with coming up with, like, a mystery or a trick. And the fact that he can't come up with something for that means, like, this idea is probably a bad idea. Oh no, 2 weeks prior, they gotta scrap everything and redo it. Oh, he's now in a really bad position because he only has 2 weeks left to make something. The hosts are all like, with 2 weeks to go? Oh, they're commenting on how, like, you gotta be really smart to come up with mysteries and, like, make, like, detective manga and that kind of stuff. Oh, the editor was like, this is well within, like, any issues. he thinks it's good that like Netsui realized that this was not going to work. It's probably a better idea they did. Okay, looks like he has a new idea about a girl and like aliens invading. And there's like, oh, looks like we have a little ray of hope. But Netsui only has 1 week. Oh man, I think he screwed himself. I feel bad for this guy. Will he be able to win with an idea right before the deadline? Yeah, they're talking about how Netsui had to switch his like theme. And they all wanted to see his original idea. They sounded interesting. Okay. That one comedian guy was like, you know, the writers of who people come up with like mysteries and suspense, like those people are scary. They're terrifying. All right, now we got Mr. Negative and Hitmaker Lin. The theme for their final challenge will be you're discussing like what can he do, what is possible doing. What? They're talking about a crazy like battle royale manga where everybody wants to die, but only the winner gets to actually die.
That's weird.
Mr. Negative is like, if that gets serialized, I don't know what I'd do with myself. It's hilarious. Oh, interesting. Because Lin wants Mr. Negative to be able to make a living as a manga artist, he's trying to suggest this like idea that maybe Mr. Negative wouldn't be that good at. A week since that meeting, Mr. Negative was making a story that was completely different from what they discussed. It was a story about a guy and a girl who want to become musicians. Like a human drama. So, yeah, Mr. Negative is saying, like, I was just thinking about the serialization and the original idea just didn't gel with me. Oh, Lin is actually not mad about that. He says, like, that's actually a good thing. That Mr. Negative was able to decide by himself what worked for him and what didn't. And the fact that he came up with something that works for him that's better is, like, good. The hosts are like, yeah, that's pretty cool that Lin was okay with that. Yeah. Mr. Negative is good at drawing human drama stories, slice of life, so it's going to be a romance between a guy and a girl who want to be musicians. Okay, Lin is making a suggestion to change the guy. Instead of the guy and girl both trying to be musicians, they're going to change it so the guy is someone who started as a musician but realized he had no talent, so then switched to wanting to become an animator. So instead of they're pursuing the same goal, they're pursuing different goals to make it a little bit more different. Will Mr. Negative be able to win with a manga about human drama? Time for the female editor and female artist team. So, female manga artist Hayashi, she got second place in the second challenge. They're trying to decide what their theme is going to be. Okay, the female editor is saying, I want you to come up with a story where you can really express your emotions in a wide range, you know, get angry about stuff, get upset at things. Okay, Hayashi is saying she's never done a storyboard for serialization. She's thought about stories that might become serialization, but this is her first time doing for this challenge. Okay, the first pass for her prototype, the female editor thought it was good, but she had a hard time understanding the emotions for the story, like what to feel, because there's not enough reaction shots of people like reacting to the emotions. They're making a reference to the writer artist team when they did their 4-panel manga here, where you have characters like being scared. If you look here on the left, it's before they don't know the emotion, and on the right they fixed it to add like reactions of like that character, like how they feel right there. Talking about the importance of reactions. And also, how do I explain this? She's talking about mikuri, which basically means page turn, literally. They're talking about the technique where they put something in the last panel of a page that will make you want to turn that page to get to the next page. And she says, I want you to be focused on this page turn thing for every page. Every last panel, I want you to like make it so like you want to turn the page and get to the next page. The female editor is saying that like working with the female artist, she wants to do her best because like the female artist is like really gung-ho and like wants to try her best, and that makes her want to try her best and like help her too. So these two really seem to have like a really good like vibe working together. All right, leading on to the writer artist team, who have not placed at all in any of the challenges. They have 0 experience drawing manga prior to this million tag challenge. And they're at Shueisha having a meeting about deciding what their theme will be. They're talking about how crazy it is having to make at max 105 pages in like 5 weeks. But their editor is like convinced that they'll make something interesting. All right, they've come up with 6 ideas, and the editor picked. The story is high school girls and a battle action, because
Probably pretty cool.
based on the second story that they did, the writer likes writing stories about female characters and their relationships, and he wants to do something that like they'll be motivated to do. So 4 weeks before the deadline, their editor has looked at their prototype. All right. The hook here is the high school girl has to fight against a serpent, and after defeating it, she can revive people. Okay, the editor is pointing out how like bringing people back to life is kind of a taboo. And if you do stuff like that, then like if people are coming back to life, it's like anything goes. So it's kind of hard for people to relate when a story with anything goes. Instead, he's suggesting, things like games of death, battle royales, people being put into video game worlds where like it's a battle royale. Those aren't that like, it wouldn't feel that weird to have resurrections in like a video game type setting. The artist is saying like, if this goes well, we could come up with something really interesting. So it looks like that's how they're gonna do it. Okay. Oh, their new prototype, the editor said like it's pretty good. There's a scene where someone gets eaten, which is very disturbing. Wow, look at that. The editor is saying, like, considering that they haven't drawn any manga, they have 0 experience drawing manga. They have, by this force challenge, they have really grown and, like, learned so much. The artist is saying, like, too, like, he's learned so much, like, going through this, like, challenge in this contest. And it's been very, like, useful for him. And the writer is, like, really grateful for the editor and all the advice that they've gotten. Will the writer artist team be able to win the challenge for the manga artist and their editor? All they want to do is make a super interesting manga. Make it omoshiroi, Dark Fox. Alright, it looks like this is like the montage of all the editors giving advice to the manga artists that we've seen so far. Yeah, just like all the editors giving all like the hate advice that they've given for this challenge. Recapping all of that. This editor is saying like, if you can't explain your manga in one sentence, the manga is kind of weak. And then in that one sentence, you want to see if like it's going to be more interesting or different or something unique about that. This editor, Fetish Cat, is really focusing on subtraction. Take away things from your story. How much can you take away and make it like as clean and easy to understand as possible? The veteran editor here is saying like, you really gotta figure out the emotions and like what the main character wants to do, so you can like make it easy for you to like cheer them on and follow them. Oh, it is the deadline day for the final challenge. Oh, they put the box there right at Shueisha
Wow.
in the lobby. The first person to put it in is the award-winning manga artist Oshiishi. Now, she said, like, I felt like everything was going bad so many times, but I feel like I was able to finally make something that was interesting. That's all that's important for her. She made something good. And now we have the female artist and the female editor. And she's like, I did everything that I could. Oh, interesting. Her comment is that even as an adult, I was able to like have some like really passionate moments in my life, like just like in high school. Okay, the writer artist team is saying like they don't know, they don't have confidence, but they did do everything that they could within the time limit. And now we have Natsui, the youngest. He feels like everything hasn't ended yet. He doesn't know about like how his placement will go, but he does have satisfaction that he completed everything. And then Mr. Negative. Seth is like, do you feel like you did well? And he's like, nope. And how do you feel like looking into the final challenge? Mr. Negative is like, I have no idea. I just don't know. And the last person to put in is Fetish Cat. She feels like within the time limit she was able to do is everything she wanted to do. And she wants to get first place because she wants an anime. That's her goal. And who will win Million Tag? Which tag team will it be? We're here at the end. Everybody was able to complete the challenge. Talking about how Mr. Negative attempted a different genre, but they ended up going with the genre that they wanted to do. Yeah, she's talking about how the hitmaker looks at Mr. Negative as like someone who will definitely be able to make a living as a manga artist. How that's like very important. How the hitmaker is thinking ahead for Mr. Negative. Alright. The preview from our comedian here, the one sentence preview for next episode. He says, the final judgment is chaos. Who will win? Oh, he's like, your previews are now over. And he's like, they'll never end. They'll never end. Yep, final episode will be August 20th. Special guest judges. Oh, Chainsaw Man's Fujimoto Tatsuki. The Netflix anime producer, Kohara. Also, the manga artist behind Hell's Paradise, Jigokuraku, Yuji Kaku. They're gonna announce the winner there with all of them there. Oh
Oof.
man.
That's gonna be rough.
Oh man, that was a lot. It was a lot because they covered all 6. I didn't think they were gonna cover all 6, but they did.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Oh. Well. I wish they posted their works because they didn't post them. I think they won't post them till the final episode goes out.
Or they might post them like a day or so before or something.
Yeah, because I want to read them before I watch the final episode. Yeah. Dark Fox, you have a prediction about who will win? They leave it kind of vague, but
yeah. I think Mr. Negative has a pretty good shot. I think his manga has always been pretty strong and kind of a little more mainstream because it's just focused on it hasn't focused on a lot of violence and stuff like that.
How about you, Rush?
Yeah, I like Mr. Negative a lot. I like his stories are unique without being too out there even. I think maybe I don't know. We see Fetish Cat place every time. I feel like maybe she's got this. She's got an interesting concept going. So
the thing about this is, I think with the final judgment, the addition of the 2 manga artists is really gonna throw a curve into everything.
yeah, it could be.
That's true. The previous fucking guest judges were YouTubers and shit.
I mean, yeah, they all have their own preferences, right? But manga artists really kind of I feel like their tastes really differentiate depending on what kind of manga artists they are. I do feel like Yuji Kaku and Tatsuki Fujimoto are kind of similar, to be honest. They both write shonen battle manga. I have no idea. I have no idea. We're gonna find out next time.
All I know for sure is I really like the writer and artist combo to at least place. I don't think they'll win.
Placing won't do anything in this final challenge.
Sure,
That's the
but
problem.
I mean, it'll be something for them, you know. I mean, I really don't see them winning at this. I don't want to be super negative about it, but geez,
if they win, it'll be
that'd be
such
huge.
a surprise. Yeah, it'd be such a surprise.
Upset.
Considering there's just so much talent in the other tags too. I feel bad for the youngest artist who had to change his theme 2 weeks prior.
Yeah, that was
I think
rough.
that fucked him real bad.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, we will find out next week. And please come back and enjoy the final watch along for Million Tag. Bye, everybody.